Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Makrine Haruna. I'll be talking today extensively in an interview for the next 1 hour with a senatorial candidate for Southern Taraba Senatorial Constituency, Mathias Agbu. As you come in, join us, stay with us, tag your friends, invite and share our video. Mathias will be online in a minute. Thank you. Rashida, thank you. My sister, thank you for coming online. Interview with Mathias Agbu. He's a senatorial candidate. I'll be bringing Mathias in a moment. Rashida, stay with me on this program. Thank you. Ivy Yerima, thank you, my sister, for watching. You're welcome. All my younger sisters are online with me today. We're talking with Mathias Agbu. He's contesting for Senate come 2019. Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, representing Taraba, Southern Taraba constituency, Senatorial constituency. I'll bring Mathias on. And as you come in, please video, leave your comments and leave your questions for Mathias. He's online, he's coming on now in a minute. Leave your questions and your comments. This will help us to determine our next leaders. Hello, Mathias, you're welcome, sir.
Hello, Makrine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning. I believe it's morning in Houston.
Yes, it is. It is morning.
Good. It's good to see you, and
Yes.
I'm glad we're talking together face to face so that our viewers will get to hear from you firsthand. The electorate
Yes.
themselves will get to hear firsthand. So we have
Yeah.
some people watching us already. Engineer Shatima, you're welcome. Ave Yerima says, hello, Uncle Agbu. I believe you can see the comments and Mrs. McCride. So thank you as you join us. Chioma, thank you for coming on. My sister Imabong, thank you. So now this is Mathias Agbu contesting for Senate. I'm going to let him talk. Please introduce yourself, sir. Who is Mathias Agbu?
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Makrine, for having me on your platform. And I also want to also thank the viewers for taking the time to watch and listen to what we have to talk about. For the purposes of introduction, my name is Mathias Luka Agbu. I am originally from Wukari in Taraba State. I had my primary and secondary education in Wukari. Then after my secondary education, I proceeded to the Federal University of Technology, Mina, where I obtained a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. Then from there, I served at the University of Ilorin as a graduate assistant with the Department of Mechanical Engineering. After my youth service, I had opportunity to proceed to the United States of America. That was 1997. While in the US since 1997, I've lived and worked here. I also had my master's degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Texas at Arlington. In a nutshell, that's about me actually. So I've been in the US for the last, let's say, 20 years now.
Wow, you could be contesting for Senate in the US now. You qualify. Right. I'll ask you what your motivation is for running for Senate in Nigeria to represent your people. What is driving?
That's a very good question. And to answer that, to put that answer in perspective, I'd like to share a little bit about my story,
Right.
so that you can understand why I decided to step into the political climate. I am the first child of my parents. We're six in number. Then while in the university, my father passed away. He was involved in a car accident and he died on the spot. And I suddenly became an orphan. It was tough. I experienced abandonment, I experienced rejection, I was almost done with my university education, thank God. But now that experience actually brought in me the purpose for my life, because that was when I really discovered my purpose.
Right.
Because experiencing the life of an orphan, you know, I call it orphans outside the orphanage, because at that age you're not in the orphanage,
Right.
and there are many orphans in that category that most times people don't think about them. You only think about orphans in the orphanage. So that experience actually gave me a new heart. It gave me a new heart towards people. And I made a commitment from that point that when God blesses me with a job, I will also help people in that same category, because I've been there. I know what it means to be in that kind of situation. So fast forward, when I started working, then in 2008, my wife and I, we decided to form a foundation whereby we want to use the foundation to reach out to people in that category, orphans outside the orphanage, especially. So we started the foundation primarily to help the orphans with their education, because the focus was education. And that was my story too. Because I was in the university, and that was when I experienced such a loss. So we started giving scholarship to orphans to go to school. And, you know, when you talk of foundation, most times you would think of people at their retiring age or so trying to give back, or wealthy individuals. But when we started, I mean, we were just normal people, but we wanted to have a structure to guide how we do our philanthropic activities. That's why we founded the foundation and named it after my late father, Mathias Agbu Memorial Foundation. We started with 16 orphans, started helping them with their education. And by the grace of God, we have helped over 200 now. That is, these are people that actually come through our process, fill application, we admit them into our program. Then there are a lot of other interventions that I've been involved in. I mean, the interventions are even more than the people in our program. Here and there, someone having issue with their school fees or exams, so we intervene here and there. So to answer your question very well, now that change of heart gives me a burden to help, gives me a reason to step in and help. So in 2007, I had a sense that God is calling me into politics, because definitely I cannot say this without talking about the spiritual aspect of it. The spiritual aspect of it was that actually God started revealing to me from 2003, 2013, 2014, 2015. Then when it gets to 2017, it was too much for me to just not do anything about it. Then I decided I would step in. So I'm stepping in because of my passion for the progressive reform of my people and the society. I have a passion for people, and I feel that when you have a political power with a compassionate heart, you can actually do a lot for people.
Absolutely.
Yes, and that's really the motivation.
Absolutely. So, but what is the role of the Senate? This can all be done outside of the Senate. So, what's the role of the Senate in Nigeria? And then now you going to the Senate to play this role. So, what about the Senate and why the Senate?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, to get into politics, you run into this question of where do you want to start? I mean, there are people that will say, oh, you need to start like House of Representatives or Senate, or some people will say, well, go to the State House of Assembly.
Yeah, in Nigerian parlance, we say rise through the ranks. I asked the presidential candidate that question as well. Why not rise through the ranks? Why go for that apex office? So that's your turn today to answer.
I agree. Yes, I mean, anywhere you start, it's okay. I think it depends on capacity and how much you want to really push. I mean, because if your motivation is to serve, it doesn't really matter where you start. But I believe I have the capacity to go for Senate, and because my desire is to impact more people.
Right.
You asked the question, the role of the Senate is basically three things. You make laws that pertains to issues affecting public interest.
Right.
And also you represent the opinions and interests of the citizen and the nation as a whole. And the third function is the oversight function, meaning you oversee government ministries, agencies, and departments.
Right.
So those are the three roles for a legislator. Now you step in because you're going to use. I see politics as a tool to be able to create difference, to make impact in the lives of people. You know, the role of the government is to provide good for the people. So in whatever capacity you find yourself in government, the number one function of a government is to make good to the people.
Right.
So starting at the Senate, I feel I have the capacity and I want to take on such a huge undertaking.
That's an amazing answer, because when I was looking up senator, the role of the Senate, sometimes because because of curbing excesses in Nigeria, because we believe that the legislative arm of the nation is one of the wastes we experience as a nation. And I was actually looking at the original meaning of Senate, and I of the opinion that is usually the older persons, because that's the original translation and all of that, the Greek form, you know. So now seeing younger people in the Senate, you know, it's like a departure from the original intention. But as long as when people are there, they use the wisdom, you know, the kind of heart you've told us you've got, passion to serve people, because we are tired of business as usual as a nation. I, as an individual, is tired of business as usual, where people just want to run for political offices because they want to make money, or because they've got money to throw around for people to vote them, and then they take back the money from the coffers of the of our nation and just leave us where we were, you know. So that's why, and the interest again for bringing you here, going through your profile and seeing all those things that you have done, you know. The people of Taraba will be left to make their judgments, but I want to talk about the foundation now, you know, and then I'll come back to talking about your role for Senate, you know, what you intend to do, you know, and what's your senatorial interest, because every senator will have a particular interest that is taking there. And knowing you now for what you have told us and what we have seen, what we have read about you, I told you after we talked a while ago, I got messages from people that say, oh, they've seen all of those things on ground, which is good, because we always say we need to see testimonies. We don't want people to just tell us abstract things, tell us you've done this, you've done that. We need to see things on ground. There's a foundation, there are children that can, you know, we can see them physically, we can question them, we can interview them, and then we believe, you know. So now, in 4 years' time, we're going to call you back to accountability, because hopefully you get to the Senate. So by the time you come back in 4 years' time, you need to tell us what you have done. So what are your legislative interests? What will you face or focus in addition to what your passion is? You know, what will be your lineup program? So the next 4 years for the electorates, for the people of Southern Taraba, for women in particular, being a woman, not a feminist, but then, you know, we have sympathy towards women, and then the youths, which are highly underutilized. We've got strength, all of that, but no jobs, nothing, you know, so wasting our strength and all of that.
You wanted to know about the foundation, so I can also tell you a little bit more about it. It's actually my favorite topic, because that's really where my passion lies.
Go ahead. I lumped all the questions together. You have the floor.
To be able to make impact in the life of people, it gives me the greatest fulfillment, to be honest with you. The foundation started off as an orphan, as an outreach to reach out to the orphans. So that's our core focus, is orphans education, and especially orphans outside the orphanage. Like I said earlier, you know, when we talk of orphans, 90% of people would think of orphanage. The orphans in the orphanage has the sympathy of the public, but you have some teenagers that lost their parents, and they are in very bad situation too. So we are reaching out to those, like all the orphans we are supporting in school. They're actually not in orphanages. They are with relatives that absorb them, and so we seek them out and actually help them with their education. Now, in 2015, I traveled to Nigeria and went to Ukari in particular. And at that time, Ukari had gone through conflict over and over between Christians and Muslims in that city. So when I saw what happened, I was really moved. I was not happy. I said, this is not the place I was raised. We were so we relate like we don't even think of religion. So I kept wondering what has really gone wrong.
Right.
And I came back to the US. I was restless, and I felt that, I can do something about this. Let me do something. I mean, I remember during the passing out parade of our NYSC program, the NYSC director said something that remains with me till now. She said that if you drop a needle in the middle of the ocean, the needle will do something. Either it will create ripples or it will touch something, even in the middle of ocean. Meaning you should do something. It doesn't matter how insignificant you take it.
Absolutely.
But it might do something. So I decided that I want to do something about the situation I saw. That was the birth of the youth arm of the foundation. So I believe that the youth really are the key to solving our problem in the community. So, and I said, well,
absolutely,
the way I can do it is to change the mindset. So I started with empowerment programs. I convened conferences, seminars with the intent to change the mindset and introduce a different kind of mindset that will bring progress in the community. And that has been very successful. We convened conferences in all the local government in the Southern Taraba, and even went beyond Southern Taraba and did seminar. So that was the birth of the youth empowerment arm of the foundation.
Right.
And also for the community, I decided to host a major football tournament, which bring all the people, because I noticed that the city is, people are so polarized along religion. You go to this side and say, oh, this is the Christian side, this is the Muslim side. There's nothing that is bringing the people together. And I just felt there's a serious problem here if we don't address this. So I decided to sponsor a major football tournament that actually, in fact, that tournament, as I was told, is that one thing that has actually harmonized the Christians and the Muslims, and they start relating, start doing things together. And we have done that 2 years. We started 2016, then we did one in 2017. And by the grace of God, we'll do one in 2018 as well.
Right.
So basically, the foundation is focused in 3 areas: orphans education, youth empowerment, and community empowerment. We have done work towards the IDP as well.
Right.
We
saw that. Yes.
We saw that the living condition of the IDPs were so bad. People were sleeping on the floor. So we decided to provide mattress to 50 families. And also brought food supplies and clothing for children, and done something to the widows, those affected by the crisis, those that have lost their husband due to the crisis. We try to reach out to them. So we have touched here and there in the community, and it's quite and this is really self-funded. It's not like we have funding from any organization. I was going there
as well. Right. Tell us about
we wish we do.
Yes. Tell us about the 200 mark. You've crossed 200 orphans now that you're taking care of.
Absolutely, yeah. We admit every year, but the way we run our program is we don't just give you scholarship and go. My goal is to transform nobody in the society to become a leader tomorrow.
Wow.
That is my real goal.
Wow.
People that you regarded like these are outcasts, these are people that cannot make it in life. So my goal is to get people like that, which mostly is the orphans or the underprivileged, that don't have anyone that is taking care of them. So we admit you into our program, and you have to stay in our program. We don't just give you 1 year, then next year is somebody else. Of course, we admit new, but you're going to remain in our program till you graduate from secondary school, then move to university.
Wow, that's
So those that actually came through the system, fill application and admitted in the program, some have graduated now, some are still in it, some have transitioned from secondary school to university.
wow.
So we have them spread out. Yes.
Right. It's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It's been,
So
yes.
basically you're doing things for everybody, all your electorate are touched. That's the women, the youths, displaced persons. Because I know insurgency
Yes.
is a problem.
Yes.
I could call myself a displaced person, so to say, and I fit
Yeah.
your programs as an orphan, and it was rough for me. I've talked about it at different fora too. I've gone through so
Yeah.
much, so I can understand the pain of being an orphan outside of the orphanage. Sometimes it's worse being outside the orphanage, because maybe under the orphanage there's
Yes.
still shelter, basic care, and all of that. So I commend
Yeah.
what you are doing for your people.
Thank you.
It's worthy of
Thank you.
emulation. I say, because I'm a Christian, a church person, a tithe payer in the past wrongly, until now that I've got that understanding that the money is meant to cater for the needy, the poor, come to think of it, who would have helped them? Where would they go to? Where would I have gone to if somebody did not help me before? So where would they go to if nobody is taking care of them? So why would I now be taking my money to be building edifices and growing people's empire? And then I've sent for the statistics of widows in Nigeria and the orphans in Nigeria. The last count, 17 million orphans in Nigeria. Who is catering for them? Wow. How are they eating? How are they sleeping? How are they going to school? You've told us the programs you have for them and all of that. So when you go to the Senate come 2019, what is your major senatorial interest? Is it focused on orphans, youths, women? How will it be?
Yeah. That's a very good question, actually. There's so many things to do. But primarily, I see myself as God's representative, right?
Amazing.
And any sphere of life that I find myself in, I believe I'm God's representative in that sphere. Now, God's highest priority is people.
Absolutely.
And if God's highest priority is people, then people has to be my priority.
That's good.
God sent the sun and the rain over the just and the unjust, over everyone.
Absolutely.
That's exactly how I see people. I don't see people that, oh, this is a Christian, or this is not a Christian, or this is my tribe or not my tribe. I never see people like that. So wherever I find myself, the people-driven programs, policies, anything that has to do with people.
Right.
Our people are really suffering. Our people are really suffering. If you go to Nigeria and travel around like I did, I mean, you go to the rural areas. The rural areas like very, very neglected. Nobody think about them. I mean, I travel through the rural areas when visiting. I mean, sometimes I feel that, how do these people feel the impact of the government in any way? Politicians will come around and ask for their vote, but there's no any impact. You don't see anything at all. So personally, I'm going there to push for the people's agenda, anything that has to do with the people. But above all, my major legislative interest, of course, is education.
Amazing.
Education and health. Education, because I have passion for youth, I have passion for women, I have passion for the underprivileged. So those will form the basis of my legislative interest. Anything to do with this category of people. But yes, education is key. We need to make sure that everyone can access education. We need to also work on the quality of our education. Well, access is very important. It's very important that every child, every person that desires to have education should be able to access it.
That's right.
Money should really not be a roadblock to any person that wants to pursue education, especially a child.
That's right.
So that is big in my heart. Whatever I can do when I'm in the Senate, as far as anything that has to do with people, really, that is my interest.
Amazing. You know, that's why Malala, the Pakistani youth, is one of my heroes, because you can't take away education from people. Education is the bedrock, because that's what
Yes.
will line up, make everything to fall in line. So, and I believe that
Yes.
every child is entitled to by right. As a
Yes.
journalist, I have covered International Labour Organization conferences at various fora. You know, I've covered them at the ILO conventions, and I particularly took interest in child labor, because how I grew up, you know, and having to go through school with stress and sometimes nearly fending for yourself. I stayed in the hospital for 8 months as a result of perforated peptic ulcer, because there's no food to eat. So anything to do with touching humans, human development is key.
Yes.
So I'm glad with your
Absolutely.
legislative interest, you know, health
Yes.
and education, you know, and that will form
Yes.
the basis for the people to be developed. Because, like you said, you don't see the impact of government on people, especially where we're from, the
Yes.
Northeast. When you drive through, honestly, you'll be wondering, do we really have a government? Are these people really important to anybody? So that means
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
hoping to see laws and bills that will impact on people directly. And that means you'll be
Yes.
ready to fight the executive if they are not interested in that, because that's what we want. We don't want the executive and the legislature, the legislative arm, you know, marrying themselves and having one voice, and then we are left to stand on our own. We need people that we
Yeah.
oppose situations that are not acceptable to the people.
Yes.
It's all about people.
Yes.
We don't vote you in and we forget
Absolutely.
about us. So we talk a
Yeah. Absolutely.
closing. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just trying to say, that's the beauty of politics. Getting into politics really exposes me to so many things that I never knew before. Now, when you get into politics, you have to interact with people. And I have been to Nigeria this year for about 2 or 3 times already. And when I go, I actually go to the people and talk to the people. And you have to do that to really understand what people are dealing with. You actually feel the frustration that people have. In fact,
Absolutely.
there are communities that they would not have let me in. The only reason why they let me in to even talk to them is because they consider me a very new person in politics. But they said they don't want to see any politician in their community, which is really very sad. Which is really very sad, yeah, which is really sad. So when you talk to people, you engage the people, you really feel their pain. And the common thing you hear from people is their frustration with politicians. They said that every place that I visit, I hear this, they give me this illustration that we're like pushing the car, like you're pushing the car to start.
Right.
That they have helped to push the car. Now in the middle of the road, the car just drop up, they just get the smoke. They never see the car again. So they say that's the same way with politicians. We help you, once you get there, you don't remember us again. Now, I see that as a character issue, because by every single community that I have gone to, they gave me this illustration. Then I knew that one of the biggest problem we had is character. People don't have character. And I think that our people make decisions prematurely. I try to educate them on that as well, that, if you want to really know who Mathias is, don't make decision on the Mathias you are seeing right now. You should make decision based on who Mathias was 10 years ago. Because 10 years ago, Mathias was not seeking for an office. It's the real Mathias. So now, whatever Mathias is telling you, I'm just giving the example, like this is how to make decision on the right people to really support. Whatever Mathias or any politician is telling you now, he's telling you what he wants you to hear. Now, if you make decision without critically examining this politician, look back, what has this person done? What has he done for the people? Who is really this person? I said, power or money doesn't change people.
Nope.
It does not change people. It just magnifies who they are.
Right.
When you get that power, you get that money, it magnifies who you are. If you are someone that never helps people, when suddenly money hits you, it doesn't mean you're going to start helping people.
That's right.
It's just that person you are will just get magnified. Now everybody will see it. So character is a big issue in the leadership we have as far as the politicians. You see people expressing that a lot. But it's quite an interesting journey.
Right. We need people with integrity, proven character, proven integrity, right? And we also want our people to have good value systems, because where the problem sometimes lie is, people have seen, voters, candidates come, bring all kinds of material gifts, and people neglect the truth, what the person you would do. You know that this person, there's nothing traceable to this person in the past. There's nothing you can hold him accountable for. There's nothing you can say, oh, this is what you've done for me yesterday, so I can trust you. And then we take their perishable things and then vote them, and we cannot talk. So we also want people to have a value system where they can actually use integrity, use their minds, to just vote people because of what they've seen, not because of what they collect from such people. So God will help us, honestly, because things must change. So we want people with proven integrity. When I went to some of the IDP camps in Abuja last year, late the year before last, and I was even asking them, have your representatives and members and the senators come to see you, bring things for you? And a lot, they said no, they've not seen them. I went a step further. I said, what of the churches? Have they come? They said no, only the Catholic Church. And that's the camp I went to. There are churches all around the camp. And that is in Abuja. And the politicians are all there in Abuja. So it's painful. It's painful. And they said they live on handouts. It's sad. There are people, some people have babies there. There was a baby born a week before I went there, brand new baby. They're exposed to mosquitoes. Who will give them nets? They're exposed to all kinds of dangers, but when that's why we want to see things change. So we just want to change. Right.
That's true. I mean, it's a very it takes education too, because what I also found out is that making critical decision is not everyone that has the ability to do that. And the politicians actually recognize that this majority of these people we're talking about, they are not educated like you and I. And the politicians exploit their vulnerability because they only think of what they will get now.
Now, exactly.
And they don't understand vision. You go there and talk about vision, they don't get it because they are hungry. They need to be able to put their children in school. They need to take care of their immediate need. And unfortunately, the politicians use the handout to influence them to influence them to really so I think the responsibility lies with all of us that are educated and have family members at home. We have to personally influence the people within our sphere to educate them to understand that there is a consequence to the decision you are making, and you have to make the right decision, or actually recommend who they should go with, because most of these people at home, I mean, they don't think beyond today because they just want to survive. So someone like that, you want to talk to him about vision, he can't get it. I just need something now.
No.
And now the politicians are the ones with the resources in their hand. I mean, I am a regular worker. I earn my wages. It's not like in Nigeria that the politicians have access to all kind of cash, and you, with the good intention, you go in there, try to talk to people, but they're expecting you to give them something. Now, you cannot match with the regular politician when it comes to money. So that's why you have to push hard on your message. And that's what I've been doing. I really push hard. I engage them. I talk to them to see the need for us to do things differently and to also understand the consequence of our decision. That, if we decide based on what we're going to get now, then we will live with that decision for the next 4 years.
That's true.
So I think the people deserve the leadership they have now, because it's their decision that actually gives them what they have.
Right.
So we have to change that. So it requires a lot of education, and that's a responsibility for especially the elites. We all have a responsibility to educate the electorates on the consequence of their decision. We shouldn't feel that maybe some of us live in the diaspora or live outside the villages, we are okay, but whatever happened at the grassroots also affect you. Like when I travel home now, I mean, traveling home, I don't feel free to walk about just like any normal person. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that I have to have a police escort around me everywhere I go. Why? Because we allow the society to go so bad that we don't even feel safe in our own village. You know, so that's why I felt everybody has a responsibility to educate our people to make the right choice. When we have the right leader, a lot of things can happen in the community.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's amazing, really. I remember some months ago I read something about a House of Reps member, a representative of the people, that two kids, two young boys, you know, went to rob in his house, and those boys were burnt down to ashes, were killed because they went to school in a member's house. I'm like, this would have been a good opportunity for that man to take those two children, polish them, put them through school, you know, be their sponsor, because their parents voted you in, you know. So I'm just speaking to our audience and those that will watch this video later, those that will share it, you know, let us vote wisely. Let's vote people based on integrity, based on character proven, because a lot of times they just carry money and be junketing around, you know, dashing people money that they stole. You know, that's not the test for leadership and test for people we should vote for. I just desire that really will come to that point of change in Nigeria. Now I'm going to be talking about funding. I know that you have this foundation and you've said it's self-funded. So how do you handle, how do you manage? Do these kids go to the public schools? Because even though the public schools, I believe there's minimal payment. So how do you manage that? How do you handle that? So because from experience, again, some other political aspirants, because maybe they have some businesses, they want to keep funding their businesses, they now find a political office as a layback where they can siphon funds to pump into their own businesses. So how do you fund it? How does it work for you?
Well, like I said earlier, it is self-funded from our income. Actually, that's really how we have done it. In fact, that's why we have not been able to even do more than what we have done. I mean, we've been operating for the last 10 years. I expect us to have done more than that in terms of impact, but we're limited because of funding. And when we started the foundation, I made a commitment that I will not go to the public to ask for support. That is the initial goal, that I want the work that we're going to do to announce what we're doing, because you have all kind of, you know, you hear all kind of stories about people having NGO to be able to just siphon people's money. And I don't like that negative publicity attached to the foundation. So we said, when we started the first 5 years, we didn't even ask anybody for any help. I said, let the impact, let the work we're doing announce what we're doing, whereby people will say, well, I want to identify with what you're doing now. So that's how we have started. So we have put it out there, seeking for partnership from people here and there. It's not, also because I've been so busy with my career too, I never had time too much to push hard on that aspect. But you get support here and there, but very insignificant in terms of the scope. But it's 90% self-funded, if I have to put it like that. But we do it from our personal income. So we are limited in scope. In fact, we're not able to even cover Southern Taraba, not to even think of Taraba State. But I just believe that even if I can just sponsor one child in school in a year, that is something to. It's amazing what you discover when you do these kind of activities,
Absolutely.
because we see all kind of situations that children deals with, and it baffles me to see that. I mean, people only think of their children. You even see people thinking outside their family.
That's true.
And
Absolutely.
it's a strange concept. It's a strange concept to me, because you see an orphan that comes to our office to seek for help, and you see they have some relatives that are doing okay to take care of, because most of our beneficiaries are from the public school. We have some in the private school actually, but we say, well, if you're really seeking for help, you shouldn't go to private school, because private school costs more. And so we are very limited in admitting orphans that are in private school. We do have them. There are exceptional cases, but we do have them. But there are a lot of, it's so hard, it's sad to know that there are kids today that could not go to school because of funding. We're not talking about huge amount of money to put someone through secondary school. But you couldn't believe that there are still kids out there that could not even afford that. You know, and we have people that are living large with everything.
I know.
But we have so many situations like that, but nobody is paying attention to. So we felt we had to do our little best, try to create that, because we have so many applications waiting for our response, but we can't, because we are limited.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
But honestly, it will not be wrong for, in my thinking, if you ask for funds, because you know we've been trained now to know what to do with our money more than ever before, you know. So, and a lot of people, especially in this movement against deception in churches, are really putting money now into this kind of project. So if you're watching, this is a good place to put that money. This is a good place, you know, to spread the love of God for people, you know. So if you maybe at the end of the program or now, you could tell us how to reach out to you, because this is absolutely perfect. That's what we should do. Help one another. Help, you know, I said this before when I was talking with DSA. One of the widows we cater for, you know, at some point we said to her, now we want you to find something to do, so you don't keep every day asking people for money here and there, and sometimes you get the answers you don't like, you know. So I want you to get something to do. Just give me a bill. What will it cost you? What do you want to do? You will not believe that she told me that all she needed was 10,000 naira. She
It's
said she
not
wants
much.
to fry yam and akara by at Area 1 in Abuja. I said 10,000 naira. She said yes. My God, I almost wept. I thought she would tell me, like, you know, 400,000, 300,000. That's what somebody needs. 10,000 naira. That woman is the mother of 3 girls are in secondary and primary school, and we get way above that, and we do monthly. We have a purse for them monthly, you know. So, but we gave her startup thing, and she's fine. She's doing well, you know. So any help, there's no small help. Anything you can give towards a foundation like this will be well appreciated, because these children will go to school, and this is the hand of God. When I was hungry, you gave me to eat. So anytime we do this kind of program, we will not hesitate to say help. If you can help, reach out to this kind of foundation. Mathias can tell us how to reach him. He's also on his Facebook page, I believe, and we can also add that even in the comment section. I want to also quickly thank all those that have stayed with us, that are watching with us. So many of us are here. Mohammed Abbas Usman, you always support me. Thank you, my brother. Grace Beatrice, you're watching with us. Thank you. For Stina, thank you so much. Thank you, my pastor friend and brother Kumode Johnson. Thank you, sir. He says Godfatherism will hinder people like you, but God will help us. We know how that, we know that that's our kind of politics in Nigeria. But honestly, I believe that change will come, because all the people so far that was seen that are interested in holding political offices to serve their people are no money bags. So if people are coming up with, they have the confidence, the backing of God to come out, honestly, those era will be phased out from Nigeria. Thank you, Olushola Fashiba. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Everyone, Matthias's wife is on watching with us, Sister Favor. Everyone that is with us, thank you for coming on and for watching. We're talking with Mathias Agbu. He's a senatorial aspirant for the next Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We've been talking with him. He's been telling us all he has been doing, because one of my questions was, what policies or what have you done, what is traceable to your name you know, that your people know, that to make them want to vote you or have confidence in you. Matthias has talked about the foundation, talked about the orphans they take care of, you know, talked about the community empowerment where they bring people together, because one of our dividing line is religion. We're all mixed up. My mom was a Muslim. I've got 4 siblings that are Muslims. So, and we must learn to cohabit, you know, because my cousin is on watching, Hussein Abubakar is watching online now. So we got, we're all siblings, we're all mixed up. So we can't be cutting our necks and killing each other. We have to come together. It's doing that, bringing people, harmonizing them with things like sports, football that unites all kinds of people together, you know, because we have to cohabit peacefully, you know. So with people like people with this kind of heart that will go in to lead us, we believe that change will come. It may be small, like you gave the analogy of the needle, you know, in the ocean, in the middle of the ocean. It's so tiny, but it will make a little ripple effect, you know. So nothing is too small, nothing is too big, and we are encouraged to step out as much. That is why I respect all the young presidential aspirants I've seen now, and the ones I've opportunity to talk with. I'm talking to a presidential aspirant in 9 days time. I think is coming on this platform as well, you know. So it's such good confidence and boldness. So we salute you and we thank you for all you're doing. And before we round up, I will ask you, if you don't get to the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, would you still be willing to support whoever is there and support the government of the day, the lawmakers of your constituency?
Yes, that's a very good question. I believe I will get there, but I believe I will get there. I'm very confident of that. It's just I'm all for good leadership, quality leadership. That's why some of us decide to step in. I mean, it takes a lot to say, oh, you want to abandon the comfort of life in the US to say you want to go through the rigorous process of politics in Nigeria. I mean, it takes the heart that really want to serve to do that.
True.
And I'm all for people. If we have credible leadership, I will support anyone that I believe can actually put people's interests above anything else. That's why we decided to step in. If that was already there, some of us will not even think of doing that. We'll just support whoever is there. Because I'm not going there with an ambition to achieve something for my own self. So if that is not the driving motivation, I'm all for people. So if we have a leader that actually carries people and put people first, definitely I will support that person. Yes.
That's fine. So in a nutshell, what's your assessment of the leadership of Taraba State in the past 3 years, over 3 years now?
Yeah, I would say they have done well given the circumstances that the government found itself. We all know about the oil and gas price crash over the years, and you know Nigeria economy depend a lot on oil as well.
Completely.
So that affects allocations to the states. So the governor has to deal with the tight resources to be able to do whatever he has to do. And by talking to people and also seeing what is happening on ground, I believe they have done well given the circumstances they find themselves. And also, especially the governor's activities around water projects, health-related projects, and road construction. I mean, he was given the Vanguard Award for the year 2017. I believe that is a reflection of his performance. And he got award in the area of health and also his project in the water area. So I think they have done well given the circumstances they found themselves.
So it's a pass mark for them. Right.
Thank you.
You have answered me well. I'm satisfied with what I've asked you, because it's like there's no holds barred and there's no reservations concerning answering. One more area I will go to is concerning tithes and offerings, and because we're talking about foundation now. So you are a church person, you're a child of God, you're a Christian, and you are a tither. So knowing what you know about tithing now, is your tithes meant for the foundation now, or is still okay to give it to somebody if you don't know what they're doing? Because we're told not to ask questions. It doesn't matter what they do with your money. You just give them. You've done your own. Let God handle that. I don't subscribe to that,
Yeah.
because I have to know what's going on. So what is your
Yes.
stand with all this, everything going on now, what we have been learning differently from what we have known before?
Yeah. Actually, that's a very good question. I always um, see myself as maybe one of the fortunate uh, Christians that have not really been
Abused.
corrupted so much with with so many things that are happening, because I actually I'm a critical thinker. I ask
Amazing.
questions. Everybody that knows me knows that I ask very good questions. And when I'm not very convinced about something, I don't really go for it. I may not make noise about it, but in my heart, I will not. So as far as the tithing issues, it's something that actually I've resolved before now. But yes, I attend a very good church, the church that actually does things for people and the
Amazing.
community.
Amazing.
And I've always given there. Yeah, I mean, what I didn't know before actually was to be able to divert my tithes towards the foundation. Now, if I have done that, I think we will have really helped more than what we have. We have affected more people than what we have done so far. But so it's not wrong where I was taking the tithe to, because I know also my church, they do things for people. So it really doesn't matter if it's.
Hello. It's frozen.
So
Great.
it's something that is it's okay. But I think we cannot neglect the poor around us. There's so many people suffering. There's so many people suffering that we cannot neglect the poor around us. So if the tithe is meant to take care of the needy, and if the church is not doing that, yes, you have every right to take it to where it needs to go.
Absolutely.
That's my own opinion. That yes.
Absolutely. I'd rather take my tithes to the foundation than to buy tire for somebody's jet or put fuel or pay parking charges. I won't do that anymore. I've done that in the past. So we just say hello to those that are still with us. Thank you, Abu Magaji, for watching with us. Yaya Dia, thank you. Sarah Gambo, thank you. Joseph Edo, thank you for watching with us. Yomi Jegede, thank you, always supporting us. My big brother Ima Ugoji, thank you, sir. Thank you for coming on. Thank you, Sarah Gambo. Thank you, Otumba Muriekini. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Faith. And thank you, everyone that's been with us. Ladi Yunana, thank you. Thank you, my sister Imabong. Thank you, Iro Benton. You've always been supporting me. Thank you, Steve Solomon. Welcome, welcome. Bilkis Bubakari, that's my sister. Thank you, Keji Lawanson. Thank you for joining us with my test today. Thank you, everyone. Sarah Gambo says, good presentation, and the aspirant is answering well. Thank you, Sarah. I'm glad that's testimony for you, Matthias. So Rexy Paul, thank you for always being with us, watching and supporting us anytime we're doing these programs. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Folusho Aluko. Thank you very much. Amachondi James. We've got Lot Kaltumi Mwazu. That's my sister. Thank you for watching. Elizabeth Francis. Thank you, sister, for coming on. Thank you, Anto Eve. Thank you for watching with us. Thank you, Sandra Yeni, for coming on. Enzi Komolafe, thank you, my sister, always supporting us. Joshua, thank you. Chinwe Ananaba, thank you for coming on. Thank you, Ernest Ebong, thank you, sir. Thank you, Bisola Kamune, thank you, everyone. So many views, we thank you. We'll say, please, you share our video, tag friends. This video can be watched again and again. If you have friends from Taraba State, please make sure they watch this video. We just want we're not giving an endorsement, because I can't vote for Matthias. I wish I could. I can't even vote for anyone right now because I'm not in Nigeria at the moment. So, but as many as are on ground that will be able to vote, let them vote wisely. Let them see and hear for themselves and judge for themselves. If you cannot if you cannot vote proven and tested people, then that's problems for us. So this is we've been talking with Mathias Agbu. Mathias, before we close, we want you to just say something to our viewers that have been with us.
All right. Thank you so much for everyone that has taken the time to be with us on this program. We really appreciate. It's a sacrifice to block 1 hour of your time to listen to us, and it means a lot to me. And I hope we're able to answer any question you may have. But there are ways to still communicate with me even after the program.
Yes, please let us know. Right.
You asked for the foundation, how people can reach to us.
Yes.
If you want to know more about the foundation, we have a website, and it's just agbufoundation.org. One word, Agbu, AGBU foundation.org. So everything is there, what we have done, where we're our interest, and how you can actually partner with us, because if we have more partners, we'll be able to do more. But on the political front, I have a website as well. It's just my name and last name, mathiasagbu.com. If you want to see what I'm running for and what I have done, and how to donate towards my campaign as well, everything is on the website. So you can contact me anytime. If you have questions that we have not been able to address through this platform, you can also contact me. But in conclusion, I think we are in a time that is very critical for our country, Nigeria. We all agree on that we need quality leadership. I mean, people are tired of the same kind of leaders we have always turned around. So some of us feel the need to step in. This is not a personal ambition, but this is a burden that God has put in my heart, that I believe I have what it takes to help Nigerians, to help in some ways. No one person has the entire solution, but we all have a part to play. So I have made a decision to go back home and also play a part in seeing the great Nigeria. So, I'm calling on, especially most of the people watching are educated and elite. We all have a responsibility in this matter. We have to talk to the people, talk to someone in Southern Taraba. We have to bring in quality leaders with proven integrity, leaders that have the record, because my records are out there in the open for everyone to see. I've never held a political office. I've never worked for Nigerian government. Everything I have done was really from my hard-earned income. So, and I've been doing it for the past 10 years. If it was politically motivated, I should have run for office much more earlier than now, than to wait almost 10 years before I do that. So I thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, Macrane, for having me on the platform. I'll be happy to come back anytime on a short notice to talk about this again.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
We certainly will invite you back, because I know that there will be more questions and more people. Yes. My brother Charles Adeniji is just coming. He said, I will watch over again. Just came in. Thank you, Charles. Please watch it. Please leave your comment. Leave any questions you've got for Matthias, because we can always come back together. If I collate some questions, we'll bring him back on this program. Sure. to talk, even at short notice. We'll do a short one with him, So thank you, Joel Jabani. Thank you, Plutonic Toba. Thank you for watching with us. Right, Sister Favor Agbu, that's Matthias's wife. You're on. Please leave in the comment section the website, the how to reach out to Matthias and to the foundation. Just leave in the comment section, because we read the comments and then anybody can get it at any time. Thank you, everyone that's watched with us. Ladi Yunana, thank you. Thank you. Ahmed Dokas, thank you. Caro Morodion, thank you for coming on. Everyone, I've not called all the names, but thank you, everyone that has joined us. We will be rounding up just now. I just want to thank you, Matthias, for coming on now face to face. We have been able to talk and as you
Yes.
continue the campaign and all you have to do to get to the office, we will help you in
Yes.
every way we can. And at any point you need us,
Thank you.
please let us know. Any point you need us,
Thank
both
you.
for the foundation, for the politics, and all of that, because we want to see people with this kind of heart, and because we know we can always come back to you, we can hold you accountable. That's what we want. We don't want people that are so far away
Yes.
from us we can reach them. So thank you for your time.
Yes.
Thank you. I know it's very early
Thank
for you
you.
to have to get up. Thank you for coming on, and also share with your friends this video and let them also leave their comments, or read the comments later on. So thank you, everyone.
Yes.
On Monday, 2 to 3 p.m., we'll be coming on with Akinpelumi Paul to do another program with him concerning our movement against deception in churches and helping us find peace and knowing God for ourselves for who he is, without the merchandising and the transactional Christianity that was seen ongoing recently. Thank you, everyone. Please subscribe to Trending with Macrine on YouTube, and leave your comments, like us, and comment and share our videos, and tag your friends. Thank you. Thank you, Mathias. Thank you, everyone, and have a
Thank you.
remaining day.
Thank you.
Bye now.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.